Good afternoon, guys. How you all doing out there? Well, I've been not online for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I've been off with some type of flu bug, and I did take a COVID test, and it wasn't COVID, but wow, if it was a game of cricket, I was hit for a six with every ball bowled. There was just this kind of knocked me out for a few weeks. So it's really great to be feeling more normal again, and I've got so many videos I've been hoping to catch up with, and a couple of really interesting finds as well. So it's just starting to rain. Let's hope the rain holds off. So I'm going to do 2 saw tests today, and they're really interesting. Shout out JT in Ireland. This is really a follow-on from a really nice guy's suggestion over in Ireland, who's very proficient with the Husqvarna saws, and he's noticed, probably like a lot of you have, lots of my saws, I tend to run them, they're definitely not bouncing off the top end as ferociously as they could. There's definitely some more RPM left in some of them, but trying to actually tweak them to get the maximum RPM is quite tricky. And so I had a few suggestions to get a tachometer, electronic rev counter, and so I made the fundamental mistake to start with. I bought, because I couldn't get the DTI tack that I wanted, the 20k, I ended up buying a cheap one, and it was so, the results was so intermittent. They'd be reading different on the same engine in the same session. So after trying a couple of those, I kind of let it go by the by, and then I spoke to a really nice guy in a forestry centre or garden centre, and he said that the Echo tachometer is really an excellent product. And so these are sold by Echo to General, I think the company's called General something in America, so I ordered one, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Can cope with single cylinder up to 8 cylinder, 2-stroke and 4-stroke. And so today I've reset 2 of my engines. The first one is my 262 XP, spectacular 1990s power saw, 1990 to 96-ish, and they call them a 262 a nominal 62, although it's the same displacement as the 61, so it's a 48-34, although rev's a lot harder. And so I've got a couple of different pieces of literature, slightly different RPMs. So idle speed around the 26 to 2700 RPM, and offload RPM 13.5 to 13,750. So great to hear any more feedback on that number to see how accurate that number is. So before I had the tacho, this girl I thought was revving hard was at 11,000. And then after the second time I leaned her out, she was at 11.4. I've tuned her with the tacho and had the idle set slightly fast, so she was ticking over at 3,000. So now she's back to factory around 26 to 2,700 RPM. And she's now bouncing off the top now at 13,005, or 13,460 to 13,5. So there might be a fraction more in her, but it's already 2,500 RPM over where she was set. So 4.8 horsepower, give or take, and so we're going to run this girl then, brand new full chisel chain, put on a Makita bar on her off my other 262, and the other saw we're going to run today will be really interesting as well. One of my early forestry saws, 045 AV, beautiful running engine. It's always been a beautiful running engine. AV mounts tight. This is running with the original original Stihl 25-inch solid nose bar, Oregon full chisel chain, and so slightly bigger piston than the 262. So this runs a 50, 38, similar horsepower, depending on the literature, 4.6 to 4.8, and maximum offload RPM for this engine. I bought the Stihl service manual for the 45 and the 56 a while ago. Maximum offload RPM for this girl is 11,000 RPM, and the mean average speed for tick over, for idle, is 1800. So I've refactory set her, and actually I wonder if I can show you that on camera. Let's try. It's been interesting. So this tacho has been, yeah, a spectacular addition. Guys, so I don't know how clear that was. So obviously it's wireless. Also has the option to put a you can put a coiled wire through the top left hand corner, have an alligator clip, or just a standard clip on, and clip onto the HT lead if you want it, if it's more convenient to hold it that way. So ticking over 1860 RPM, and now comes up to 10,850 RPM, top RPMs. So I can't wait to try this girl as well. So without any more chatting then, I last cut with this girl, not sure, a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago, and haven't cut with her since she's been tuned. So what was the RPM? So now she's just under 11,000, literally 100 RPM off of it, and she was at 9.5 before. So interesting, both these engines then under load, this should be around 9,000, and I think the 262, the gap narrows between these two then. Obviously top RPM offload, this is a screamer, but 9,000 in the cut max, 9.6 on the 262. Right guys, what should we start with? Let's start with the beautiful 1970s. So 1974 the 045 started in, and was available in several guises as well. So identical chassis, and you could pick this girl up with, so that's running 5038. Could get it in the, actually several variations on that as well, the AVE electronic. You could get that then in a 5238, so up to an 81cc, currently 75. Then they did a 56, which shared the same bore and stroke, 5238 crossover. Then you could get the AVSE, the electronic quick stop as well, the super version with a 54, 87ccs, and then you could get the Magnum edition, which took it up to a 56mm piston. So a real tractable, heavy duty housing. Right, I can't wait to start this off. So 25-inch bar and about 18-inch wood. Right guys, let's see how she performs. Now she's factory spec on the RPMs. Wow! Wow, she's miles quicker than she was before. Wow, that is so much quicker. Just, so even with the blade buried in through the midsection of the wood. Spectacular, spectacular. So what a difference that makes then with having that tuned to factory spec. Okay, I can't wait to try the 262. Here we go, let's put that in safe. So this would be interesting because I've set this one up really evidently very light on the top RPMs previously, so she's been 2,500 RPM off of her max. So I've got a little bit of spruce set up. I've got a 15-inch bar, new full sizzle chain, and the spruce is okay. The spruce is 15 inches. Well, it's perfect. Choke off. Oh. Hey guys, wow, she's wow, not only very addictive now, that is so different. Big thanks JT for again pointing out the level of tune and how much more is available at the top end. Wow, my goodness me, so much more available at the top end. Absolutely relentless. Really enjoyable as well. What an aggressive cutting engine. Might go through the spruce once more just to actually I might take a disc on the spruce with this, and then we'll put the 45 through the spruce as well. See how they compare. Similar horsepower figures, and this goes circa 15 years newer. See if we can get it to... Okay, that'll do. Right guys. Wow, how close are those two? I can't actually tell. I almost fancy as though the 45 incredibly has the legs on the. It might just be the engine sound. I'll try that again. Honestly can't tell, but what I do know is that any doubt I previously had about the value of setting up with a tacho has been well, thoroughly disproven. I cannot stress enough how incredibly useful that has been on now on my 07, on one of my DVA 110s, on the Mac 15. So I've been re-going through and tweaking up some of my old engines, and some of my Macs and my DDAs were very, very close and nothing needed doing. But a few of the other ones were just, why, they were a long way out, and so it's great just to have a visual confirmation of just how close as well after 50, 60 years. So for instance then on the 262, you know, if this was factory 13.7 and she's 13.750 RPM and still comfortably pulls 13.7, factory idle 2700 and she sits at 26 to 27, it's really nice to know that you've got an engine which is circa 30 years old and still sits at the factory settings and performs as if she'd come out of the factory 30 years ago. Okay guys, thanks for watching. That's just two of my gorgeous saws then, the 262 XP and the 45 AV, and we'll do a few more as well once I've got a few of one of my Contras. That girl was surprisingly a long way out, so we'll redo the Contra now she's set with the tacho, and perhaps we'll run her against one of the bigger John Seards as well. That'd be fun. It's good to be back guys, lots more videos to follow. Bye for now.